Well, here it is, but that doesn't look like a turbo, does it? If you can't tell, it's pretty obvious that plans on the CRV turbo have changed substantially. I still have all the turbo parts on the other motor, not that it's progressed anywhere. And I also got another motor, a K20 Z3 off of the black car that needs some work and some help, but this motor is completely different. The turbo off the black car and everything is off, but not going to use any of it, not even in the silver RSX. We're going to actually put it all back into the black car. But this, the K24A2 with the Supercharger, is going in the CRV. The entire Supercharger has been rebuilt with a Mercracing 3.2 pulley, new bearings and seals in the snout, professionally redone. The housing was polished with the rotors recoated. It's also been fully ported, and it took the time to do some powder coating in a color that's called anthracite. It's kind of a sparkly brown. I figured it'll look good with the black, and it's just something unique. I had it done from a guy I met on Instagram. As you can see his name right there. He does fantastic work. You just mail your parts in. I have a track tough radiator coolant hose upper, and I'm working on figuring out what adapter I'm going to use for the water line that crosses over, since I have this nice billet piece and I need the hose that runs along here for the other heater hose, and I'm working on it. You can get that piece and other pieces from Track Tough Rob. So you can see this is from the TSX. I've also got one from a Z3. I've got an A2, and I'm just going to find the right combination to see what fits the best, because there's not a lot of room under the Supercharger manifold. Today I've been kind of working on comparing where the hoses and the wiring harness is going to go and whatnot. Not much has been done to the CRV. It's basically the same. I'm just going crazy to try to swap in this motor and get a clutch and get the LSD in the transmission and everything. So you can see there's tons of room to do anything. I just want it to look nice and neat and clean. Had to do the smaller pulley and a lot of fitment work, and I've gotten all new accessories to make sure that the Supercharger is going to clear under the core support. Definitely going to have to remove the reservoir that you see there because of where the snout is for the Supercharger, but it shouldn't be too much a problem, and it shouldn't run into the radiator or the fan, if my measurements are correct, that is. And I'm pretty sure my measurements are correct. I guess we'll just have to see. It'll be nice to have all new accessories, and I can preset my belt before I swap it. But for the most part, the CRV is exactly the same as the last time you saw it. Maybe you didn't see it with the brakes, but they are fantastic. Turbo Parts RSX has already been mostly stripped down as far as drivetrain goes. Turns out I had an LSD transmission, had insane shaft axles, and some other things. I had electric power steering conversion, which I thought was pretty cool. And it's got some frame damage, but we have another car that we can cut pieces off of. And I think we're going to go ahead and section this area out and turn this into more of a race car all-wheel drive project versus the silver car, so that way we can make it a little more extreme. So far we found a couple of spare all-wheel drive transmissions for the CRV and the black car all-wheel drive project. Got a couple other transmissions like this ITR2. That was kind of a neat find. If you've never seen the silver car before, it's a 2002 RSX Type S A-Spec. It's extremely hard to find an A-Spec that has all the original parts on it and isn't heavily modified. It has all the interior bits, the wheels, the brakes, the lips, everything, and it's all in really great shape. It's just in a little bit of mechanically rough shape. We found receipts in it for the Supercharger being installed by the dealer, and the Supercharger was bad, and that's the one on the CRV, and it's getting rebuilt because it was, making noise and whatnot. So that project and more of the CRV project are coming. I'll update you soon, promise. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe for those updates.